Welcome to the certificate course on fundamentals of marketing. This is the first module of the course. In this, we are going to talk about what is marketing and why is marketing an important function for any organization. So let us begin by understanding what is marketing. There are multiple definitions of marketing floating across the internet, the books, B-schools, training organizations. But if I take out a gist of all of them, then I can put it in a very simple one statement. And this statement was even given by CIM in 2001. And it says, marketing is the management process responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. There are 4 keywords in this. 1. Identification of customers. 2nd, anticipating what the customers need. 3rd, delivering what you have promised to the customer while you ensure customer satisfaction. 4th, delivering everything in a profitable way for your organization, maintaining decent operating margins so that at the end of the day, your organization does not lose money on the sales which they make. So as someone interested in marketing, as someone who is playing a critical role in the marketing team of the organization, my first and foremost responsibility is identification of my customer, who can pay for my product or my service. The second step is to anticipate what he needs. Either I may have that particular thing at that point of time, or I may have the capability to give that to the customer in future. Third step is, while I am delivering that product or the service, I am ensuring that the customer is happy with me, his expectations are met or exceeded, and he finds value in the money which he has invested in me. And lastly, doing all these 3 activities, maintaining the bottom line of profitability. So if I see this definition which we just now discussed, and if I see then I can say that marketing as a function has 2 very strong pillars, which are often termed as marketing goals. And no matter, I can jot down thousands of marketing goals. All of them will at the end of the day boil down to only 2 major goals, which are eventually the 2 strong pillars of a marketing function. And that is, first, to attract new customers by promising a superior value and delivering that value to ensure satisfaction so that I retain my current customers. So attracting new customers, retaining my existing customers, these are the 2 broad and the most important marketing goals. Now I can talk about plethora of goals within them, but all those goals which I will talk about will either fall into the category of attracting a new customer or retaining a existing customer. Let us try to move ahead and try to get a slightly better understanding of what are the nitty-gritties which get into marketing as a function. Now we know that it is about identifying, anticipating, and delivering value. How do I do that? Isn't that a question, right? So, to do that and to ensure that my goals are met, I have to create a product, I have to create a service that adds value to my customer. Now, once I have created that product or a service, it's very important for me to communicate it in the right way to the right customer. Once I have communicated that to the customer and the customer has decided to purchase my product or service, the next important task is to deliver that product or a service to the customer effectively. So from creating to communicating to delivering of the product or the service to the customer, everything is the part of the marketing process. Even the delivery is the part of the marketing process because it ensures customer satisfaction, and customer satisfaction gets linked back to my ability to retain my existing customers and also to attract new customers by the referrals from my existing customers. And hence the delivery of the product is also in a way part of the marketing process. Now at times we see people using the words customer, clients, partners interchangeably. But there are certain very basic and very minute differences between these terms. What are those? Customer is generally an individual who is coming to buy a product or a service from you. So for example, if I go to a retail store to buy a soap, I am a customer. So basically customer majorly deals with B2C space where you have masses and masses and masses as your customers full of individuals. The second category is client, and generally I'll term enterprises and corporates as clients and not call them as customers. Just a very minute difference. However, at the end of the day, both of them are paying you to avail your product or service, hence both of them are your customers. But just to differentiate that I'm talking about B2C space or a B2B space, I use the term customer versus clients. So for example, I am a soap company and I get into a deal with Lalit Group of Hotels to use my soaps in their rooms across the hotel chain. So I'll say that Lalit Group of Hotels is my client. It's a big B2B deal for me. And the third is partners. Partner could be anyone with whom I am collaborating either to create more value for the customer, either to communicate value of my product effectively to the customer, or to deliver my product efficiently to the customer. So whether I collaborate with someone at the creation stage, at the communication stage, or at the delivery stage, if anyone and everyone with whom I collaborate is termed as my partner. It could be a partner just to increase my outreach to the customer as well. So basically this is the difference between the words customers, clients and partners, and as a marketing professional, I have to ensure that I'm delivering value to all of them as well, because unless they will find some value in me, they will not do business with me. And that is where the old view of marketing, which used to see marketing as nothing but just telling and selling, has changed. Today, marketing is not just about selling. Today, marketing is about staying ahead of time. Today, marketing is about staying ahead of competition. Today, marketing is about staying ahead of customers' perception of what he may need or want in future. And if as a marketing team, I can stay ahead in these three aspects, I will boost my sales immensely. And hence, marketing is no more just about selling. It's about creating that environment, creating that ecosystem which helps me foster my sales like anything else and enables my organization to stay ahead of the competition in terms of offerings, in terms of customer value, in terms of customer satisfaction, in terms of customer retention, and in terms of referral rates. If I can do all these things, my purpose of being the part of a marketing team is fulfilled. And hence, it's very important for me today to see marketing from the view of the new school and not keep seeing it as something which old schools wanted me to see. Now we are talking about this new schools of thoughts regarding marketing. But why such a shift? The reason is, years back, market was the seller's market. What a customer should purchase was decided by the seller because the market was push based, where the customer had limited choices, had limited options, and actually had to buy what was being provided to him by the limited options which he had. Today there is a paradigm shift. Market is no more a seller's market. Today we have a buyer's market. Today as a customer, I have a plethora of options to buy from. I can think about a need, I can think about a want, and I'll have multiple options providing me with those. So I can go and make the choice of price, I can go and make the choice of time, I can go and make the choice of mode, I can go and make the choice of the customer service. So today the market is driven by what a customer wants, what a buyer wants, and hence marketing has become so critical and is no more limited to just selling, because you can just focus on selling when it comes to the seller's market, but when it comes to a buyer's market, things cannot be just sale driven, they have to be marketing driven, and hence marketing team plays a very critical role for any organization, and hence is seen as one of the most plum jobs in the industry. Now, we talked about why is marketing important. Let's try to have a look at what are the different steps at a very broad level which get into a marketing process. The first and the foremost step is to understand the marketplace, the customer needs, and the wants. What do I mean by marketplace? Marketplace could be offline stuff or online stuff, which provides me the option to go and make a transaction where I pay monetarily and I get a product or a service in return. So it's very important for me to understand the nuances of a marketplace because it helps me understand the competition, it helps me strengthen my offering as well as it helps me understand customers' buying behavior, customers' buying pattern. And once I understand this marketplace, it's important for me to understand the needs and the wants of the customer and accordingly position my product to the customer, accordingly ensure that my product is adding the value which the customer wants. Now, once I am done with this understanding, the second step as a marketing professional is to come up with a customer driven marketing strategy of communicating the value in the right way to the customer. This strategy is formed on papers, it is formed in the big strategy rooms, and it has to be customer driven. It cannot be just company driven because today we are in this buyer's market as we discussed earlier. Now, why marketing strategy is formed at a very high level? It becomes important to execute it on the ground. And to execute an effective marketing strategy, I need a very efficiently created marketing program to execute this strategy, which was made in the strategy room. And hence, the execution becomes very important. The construction of a effective marketing program which actually delivers value becomes very, very critical to the organization. Now I have understood the marketplace, I understand the customer, I have the marketing strategy in place, I have a effective marketing program in place. My next step is to build profitable relationships with my customers and ensure that I am exceeding their expectations. I am delivering customer delight and making the customer remain stuck to me as a provider. And at the end of all these things, I actually am able to generate that value out of the customer for my organization to generate revenues, to create profits. So from understanding the marketplace to customer needs to wants to generating that kind of a value out of the customer, each and everything is the part of the marketing process. Now we talked about needs and wants. Let us try to understand the basic difference between needs and wants. Need is something which is very basic in nature, which is required by me by default for a survival. To just lead my life, If I need a certain basic stuff, that is categorized under need. Now, needs can be categorized into physical needs, which cover your fooding, clothing, shelter, safety. Needs could be social needs, where I want to be loved by everyone, where I want others to be affectionate towards me because of my, because I as a human being love to be loved. Third could be certain individual specific needs. These could be around learning, this could be around knowledge, this could be around self-expression, this could be around confidence. However, there is something called want. Want is something without which I can live, but it is something which I aspire to get, to be treated differently by people around, to be perceived as someone very special by the environment around, to be treated with a lot of respect by people around. If I need that something additional, something over and above my basic needs without which I cannot survive, then those additional needs are not the needs but the wants. For example, I can commute by walking. But if I go for a 5 crore car to commute 5 kilometers just to show off to people that I have that kind of a purchasing power, that 5 crore car is not my need, it is my want. Living in a very simple 1 BHK or a 2 BHK place is my need for a shelter. But to live in a penthouse alone just to show off in a very poor society is a want. So this is the basic difference between need and a want. And when I club this want with my purchasing power, it is termed as demand. And then I go and demand that, boss, this is my purchasing power, I can spend this much, this is what I want to see myself as. And this actually results into a cloud of a demand. And hence, as a good company, as a good marketing professional, I should be able to identify what is a need, what is a want, what is a demand, and accordingly categorize my customers, accordingly segment them out, accordingly come up with products and services addressing different kind of needs, different kind of wants, different kind of demands. Now, as we discussed, all the needs and the wants, they are fulfilled through a marketing offering. I have to decide whether I want to address a need of a certain segment of customers or whether I want to address the wants of certain kinds of customers. Now, do not get confused between the words wants and demands. They are interchangeably used. The only difference is demand is with the understanding of the purchasing power of the customer. Want is without the understanding of the buying power of the customer. Now, my needs and wants, as we discussed earlier, could be in the form of a product, could be in the form of service, could be in the form of the experience. Generally, experiences are the parts of your wants and the demands, because I can live without a very, very soothing experience as well. So, for example, having a coffee cooked at home or at a roadside is my need to consume a coffee at a certain point of time. But having the same cup of coffee by spending $300 at Starbucks is my want for an experience. So generally experiences are the path of your wants and demands. Products and services could be either need or a want and demand. But when it comes to experiences, they are generally the paths of demands. Now, all through this, we have been emphasizing that how important is the value which we are adding to the customer and how important is customer feeling satisfied with our product and the service. Because the better the value, the more the satisfaction, the stronger is my customer retention rate and stronger is my revenue from the same customer. And hence, it is very, very important for me to retain my existing customer because that saves my cost of acquiring a new customer. That ensures that my customer lifetime value is getting increased, and that means my company can work at a better operating margin and generate more revenues. But how do I measure customer satisfaction? Now, at the time of selling a product or a service to the customer, I am making a certain promise, setting certain expectations to the customer. Now, if my performance is lower than the set expectations, the customer is not going to be satisfied or the customer satisfaction is going to be low. But if I deliver much higher than the expectations which I set in front of the customer satisfaction is going to be real high. The customer is going to be very delighted availing my product and services. So the key to the marketing is set the right expectations which you can either meet or surpass. Never set expectation which you cannot meet. Because the moment you set the right expectations, your customer is satisfied with you or is super delighted. And that is what you need as a company. And that is what your role as a marketing team is, to set the right expectation to ensure the right customer value and to ensure a strong customer satisfaction. So I hope now you are able to understand what is marketing, why is marketing important, what are the basic things which we should keep in mind as a marketing team. With this, we come to the end of this module. And in the next module, we will dive deeper into why is marketing important for any business. And post that, we will move into understanding at a very high level the concepts like market research and others. So with this, we come to the end of this module and we'll meet shortly with the next module on importance of marketing for any business.